All right. Hey guys. So I am doing a YouTube live. I'm going to try to start doing these like once a week. On Tuesdays at noon Central is my goal. So I've got some questions right here. I am answering questions from my Facebook community. This is just like a free Facebook group that I have. If you're not part of it, definitely join that because you are able to ask questions on my Facebook page. I've got like a weekly Q&A thread. So I'll be answering questions from that thread. Yeah. And if you have any additional questions and you're actually watching live, throw them in the chat. I'll try to get to those too. I don't get to every question. Some are a little bit repetitive. So I'm just going to kind of pick and choose ones that I think will be beneficial. So if you are new here, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Please, it helps the channel grow and it allows me to keep putting out awesome free content for you guys. But my name's Emilee and I teach anxiety recovery, nervous system recovery, POTS, triple PD, the chronic dizziness, chronic illness, everything in between that goes under the nervous system umbrella. I went through that. I teach that. So let's just dive right on in. The first question that I have is from Sally, and it says, just wondering if anxiety can be 24/7. So it's been hard to know what bodily symptoms have been anxiety and what symptoms are not anxiety. I practice acknowledging and allowing the anxious feelings and the potential bodily symptoms, and sometimes the anxiety will shift, but it doesn't always shift, especially if I'm tired or going through a stressful event. So, what I would say, can anxiety be 24/7? 100%. That is exactly what I experience personally. It's frustrating, I know. But what you'll see is, okay, let me explain this first. The reason why it is 24/7 is because when you are in a state of nervous system sensitization, you are always in a state of anxiety. And so, even if you don't feel anxious or there's no like known trigger, once your body reaches its stress threshold, its max capacity sort of thing, uh, you're always in a state of anxiety. So your body is in fight or flight, low level fight or flight. Or high level, depending on where you're at. But you've got cortisol, you've got adrenaline, you've got all these things that are currently on in your body. Your vestibular system may be sensitized. So you have like the chronic dizziness, you're sensing everything. Your pain system may be sensitized. So you're experiencing chronic pain, chronic tension, chronic migraines, all these things. Because again, once your stress cup reaches its max capacity, its threshold, it starts this cascade of events, and then that is perpetuated by anxiety, right? So like by focusing on it, by catering to it, avoiding things, Googling, all that kind of stuff, trying to get rid of it, misperceiving these false alarms as real alarms, right? And just kind of fueling that cycle. So being in that state is normal. I mean, my body is still somewhat in that state. So I don't have daily symptoms at all anymore, praise God. But my body is still somewhat sensitized. And even, a year ago, for example, a vacation may send me into like some low level vertigo, some low level swaying sort of thing. Now it really doesn't. When I first started, checking an email would send me into that. So it takes a while for the body to desensitize, even when you are allowing it and you're finally getting back on track and we're integrating rest and we're integrating just a healthier lifestyle. Your body will still be sensitized for a while. So it's very normal. And what you'll also notice about symptoms shifting or not shifting, basically, is whenever you are focusing or dwelling on a symptom or your symptom becomes your thing, which I had various symptoms throughout the journey that were like my thing. I had countless symptoms at once, but for a season, DPDR, the derealization, everything feeling fake was my thing. Another season, it was the chronic dizziness. Another season, it was my head pressure and my neck pain. POTS was a big focus of mine. And I would notice I would focus on it and focus on it and focus on it. And then when I would just allow it and kind of take the focus off of it, I would never notice this on the spot. It's not like the next morning I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, my symptom's gone. it was more like I would look back and think, you know what? I have not been super worried about POTS for a while. Interesting, and then it was the next thing, right? Because it's like players on a baseball bench, there's like always something waiting to take the spot. So you'll see stuff will linger as you focus on it, and then it kind of morphs into something else. But I hope that answers your question. Hi, Kaya. Let me know if you have any questions in the live chat too. Let's see. So next question. Okay, this is a good one. So also, Sally, what's the best way to deal with the physical fear response, tummy dropping, whoosh, that I get when I'm triggered with a bodily symptom that scares me? The physical fear response can happen over and over again, and I'm concerned that it's contributing greatly to the stress hormones circulating in my body. So, great book to read if you have not read it yet is Hope and Help for Your Nerves, classic Claire Weeks. And what I like that she says about that is you have first fear and second fear. And same with all these other unproductive emotions, hopelessness, everything, right? But we'll talk about fear. So, first fear and second fear. First fear is that physical response that you described, a fight or flight, you are going to have first fear. So, accepting it for what it is. The unproductive layer that we add to it is even that questioning of like, is this like gonna do me dirty essentially recovery wise? Is this gonna keep me stuck? Well, it's out of our control, so let's not add any more fuel to it. But first fear is out of our control. Now second fear is actually that, is this going to keep me stuck, right? And so you have the stomach whoosh, you have the like, oh no, the physical symptoms, shaking, tunnel vision, panic, whatever it is. That happens. Second fear is, why is this happening? Oh no, is this bad for me? How do I get rid of this? Da 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 da. Is this something else? The list goes on and on and on. So just be aware of like first fear is outside of our control. And to give you a very practical example, so what you said was stomach, dropping, whooshing sensation, hot flash. I would get that hot sensation a lot. So when that happens, it's like, okay, drop the shoulders. All right, it's okay. It's just a sensation. Identify, I'm symptomatic, right? Designate, just a sensation. Just adrenaline, embrace, hey, it is what it is. It already happened. My body is in this state, but now it's my job to show it that it's safe, to show it that there's no lion. That whoosh, all that stuff was a false alarm, really, because you're not in true danger, but your body thinks that you are. So your only job in that situation is to show yourself by your behavior, your body language, your thoughts, everything, that there is no lion. It's like, hey, whew, it's okay. The feelings can be there. They're uncomfortable, but we're good. Back to what I was doing. And just get really good at not adding fuel to the fire. Does that mean that you won't be like shaking or whatever else for the next hour? Maybe, but it's just a false alarm. So you're now stepping into this leadership role with your body, whereas your body's been misleading you for a long time. So I hope that helps. Okay, I'm looking at the live chat too. I'm going to kind of go between Facebook and this live chat. Yeah. So, Sam, I feel like my nervous system being at its limit means that I'm going to shut down and pass out when I'm feeling panic, though. I mean, I would want, like, if you're currently passing out and things like that, then yeah, I would talk to your doctor and figure out, like, how do you navigate that. But personally, passing out was my number one fear, and I did not pass out one time, but I felt like I was going to pass out on a daily basis. The, like, vasovagal response was, like, my biggest fear. And what I would say is, especially if you're not passing out, is literally just telling yourself, it's like, okay, I haven't passed out yet. I felt this way 100,000 times, right? Exactly. Yeah, I saw it in the chat. You're not passing out. That's the thing. It's like, it's so frustrating. Hey, Becca. It's like so frustrating because I would have experienced that a billion times. I never passed out, but it was my biggest fear. And so luckily for you, time is on your side, and you just tell yourself, you're like, look, I've experienced this so many times. At this point, if I pass out, I freaking pass out. And you kind of just take that approach with it. And just be really, really conscious on how you respond to things. And getting yourself on a schedule too will be key. Man, once I got into the gym, that was so helpful for me, because then when I was like, I'm gonna pass out, like when I'm driving, I was like, okay, I didn't pass out at the gym today. I'm not gonna pass out there. And so at first, believe me, the gym was like a freaking nightmare. But eventually it became a really productive place that I was able to show myself that I was capable and I wasn't fragile. So I would just say use ideal over and over and over again. If you start to fuel that fear of passing out, it will consume you. Speaking from experience, so memorize ideal and get really, really good at using ideal. And if you're not already using ideal, use ideal. So go to my website. Let's see what is next. Good job, Becca. She said, I'm home alone and decided to hop on YouTube to engage to something other than my symptoms. So great job. Okay. That's awesome. I see Kaya. I want to thank you for your videos. They've helped me a lot with being healed 95%. That is so cool. I used to be scared to do everything, went down the mold rabbit hole, overcome that. That is awesome. The mold rabbit hole, oh my gosh, you guys. I was talking to my husband about this last night, and we were like, I feel like the whole population will test positive for mold, frankly. It's so frustrating. Yeah, I went down that rabbit trail too. Okay, so next, let's see. All right, I'm kind of reading these live, so hopefully I'm not going to read anything like weird, but forgive me if I do. This one is from Ashley. In regard to ideal, when it comes to embrace, address, and live, what is a good starting point when the symptoms are so frightening that all you can think about is laying in bed or sitting down? For instance, my scariest symptom is dizziness. I have the hardest time working through that feeling. It is so scary to me at this stage that I just want to rest. What are good first steps? That's a really good question. I get so discouraged when it sets me back. So what I would say, again, going back to the schedule thing, start a schedule, get on a schedule, and that will help you, because what my days looked like, it wasn't like following the schedule. It was like, I am melting down. I am laying in bed, shaking, feeling like I can't stand up. Like it's 2:00. Okay, schedule. What am I supposed to be doing? Oh my gosh. Okay. The dishes. Whew. 1, 2, 3, stand up, dishes. I mean, it was like that. So I would say get yourself on a schedule. It will allow just like a guidelines throughout your day. And it can be really helpful. And the schedule is most helpful on the hardest days, because it allows you to show yourself that you're safe, because and kind of like break the cycle. Because what I would notice is, like, I would be on the right track. I would get hit with some crazy new symptom, or my symptoms would like morph or increase or whatever. And next thing you know, I'm back on the hamster wheel on the bad day, Googling, trying to figure out what's wrong with me. Like, oh my gosh, like this took me out. I overdid it. I'm fragile, all this kind of stuff. So getting on a schedule is key. And then honestly, so when you're in bed and you're just paralyzed, because with like the fight, flight, freeze response, your girl was stuck in freeze a lot. And so I would be like panicking, literally just like, am I breathing? I can't move. You know what I mean? And so that goes along with DPDR and all other stuff with the freeze response. But I was just like, the thought of standing sometimes, I'm like, I can't even do it, just do it. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, like advice wise, where it's like, wow, thanks for that. But literally, just do it. Be like, shut off brain, robot mode, go. Your body will do so much on autopilot. And then you'll show yourself. You're like, okay, turns out I can do it somehow. And it kind of builds confidence. But yeah, just do it is my first advice there. Stick to a schedule and just remember, like, the only way out is through. And so if you want to get through this, what you do, we all do, everybody here does, then you have to really just do it, right? And also too, as you use ideal, this is really important, is body language. Drop the shoulders, roll the neck, it just pops, right? Surrender. Like, okay, yes, this sucks, right? Symptoms suck, but it's okay, right? And just cultivate this like constant messages of safety to your body, it's okay, right? Because we can do ideal and we can white knuckle the crap out of it where it's like, identify, designate, keep going. Like, no, that is not it, right? Come at me. Like, resisting it's not going to change it, right? So do your thing as I continue on with my life. And there were days where I was like shaking all day long, feeling faint all day long. And it was just like, God, carry me through this day. Carry me through this second, right? All right, I'm going to go back to the chat. And then I'll go back to Facebook. So, yes. So with the breathing, Robert, Butica, I can't even pronounce it, but that's like the 579, right? Or is that the one where you just breathe through your nose or something? What I would say about that is there is no breathing mechanism, there is no coping mechanism, there is no diet, there is nothing that is going to get you to learn how to respond to the fear of fear. Nothing. With that being said, breathing is not bad for you. It's just something that is not going to cure you. And if you use it as a cure, then it's just not going to work, right? It's going to like set you back. It's symptom chasing. What I try to do now is like, there's a couple tips that I'll give you breathing wise that I learned from like a really cool breathing girl that I worked with. But I would say with breathing, do not go to breathing, personal advice here. Don't go to breathing when you're symptomatic necessarily. Like if you want to integrate breathing practice into your life, do it at a set time each day, whether you feel good or you feel terrible. So for example, if you like want to wake up and do some meditating and deep breathing, do it every morning, do it every night, whatever. But don't go to it and run to it because you're symptomatic. Because what happens is, one, breathing was like the quickest way to make myself feel even more faint. Like I remember I was in Target one time and I'm like, okay, box breathing. Next thing you know, I'm like, I feel so, much more faint. So it didn't work anyway. But what I would say is it can be a great practice, right? But not as a fix. You want to be able to have symptoms and go straight into ideal and go straight into like, okay, allow, instead of suppress, get rid of with breathing. Does that make sense? But breathing tips, I would say, like, if you're a yawner, I know for the longest time I was always like couldn't get a full breath, like literally just bending over all the time, like, right? And if you're doing that, what I learned from this breathing girl that I worked with is suppress your yawn with a swallow, breathe in and out through your nose, live your life, right? Keep it super simple. I experience, how often do you go live? I want to start going, I've never gone live before. I want to start going live on Tuesdays at 12 Central. I have 3 kids though, so sometimes it won't happen, but I'm going to try my best. I experience strange chest sensations and kind of shortness of breath. It's all day long, 10 months now. So Debbie, I would say I assume you've been to the doctor. If you haven't, definitely do that. Do the Holter monitor, do the works, then move forward and put it under the umbrella. But if you have done that kind of stuff, those are all very normal symptoms to go through. I experienced the shortness of breath, man. I was again, bending over, like I just couldn't get it, and part of that's tension. Part of that is when we are in an anxious state, our breathing is dysregulated, which will self-regulate naturally when you're out of the state. But it's normal for it to be all day long while you are in this state if you have already been checked out. Next one, how could I with POTS go to college? So POTS is a symptom of a dysregulated nervous system. To me, it's not like a separate thing. So yes, you can be genetically disposed to POTS. I have Ehlers-Danlos, all the joint hypermobility and all the weird stuff that contributes to it. Even will get blood pooling in my legs still and stuff like that. When I'm pregnant, it flares up. But when you learn how to respond, live your life, regulate your nervous system, you can 100% go to college. While you do that, you could literally be a college athlete while you do that. It's just a symptom. So I would say first step is learning how to start using ideals, start functioning on a schedule. For anybody that feels stuck and is able to apply for a coaching call, because one-on-one can be really helpful, the POTS thing without fail is something that I have so many coaching clients come to me with, like raging POTS, like criteria. I don't want to say POTS criteria. And once they learn how to show themselves that they're not fragile, show themselves that they can indeed stand and step again into this leadership role with their body, where it's like body's perceiving standing and functioning and living life and surviving as a threat. And they now teach their body, like, hey, you can race. Like, all this stuff can happen, but we are safe to stand up, right? And you're switching roles. Your body's no longer misleading you. You're leading their body, sort of thing. You will be amazed at how quick that diagnosis falls off the table. Let's see. Becca said, having life push you with surprise exposures is nuts also. There's a power outage in my building and we had to go up to our apartment. I swore I would faint on the stairs. I didn't. That is so funny. Oh my gosh, yes. I had so many experiences like that too, where it was like, I would think like maybe one day I'll do that. That's impossible. For me, it was driving. Driving was so hard for me. And then we bought a new car. We have a Telluride Kia. And we got the new car, and I didn't even like realize this, but I realized eventually that I had to drive the car home because me and my husband bought the car together. We had to like get the other car home that we had, and it was like over an hour to get back home. It was probably like an hour and a half from where we were at the time. I had never driven those roads. I was driving at that point, but like only on a couple of roads, and it was like very much in my control. I had never driven at night. It started raining during that drive. All these things where I'm like, I don't drive in the rain. I don't drive at night. I don't drive here. I don't drive there. And suddenly I did it all. And it was like, turns out I can. So it's crazy. Let's see what's next. So that's awesome. Yeah, someone said I had H. pylori. In the beginning, I would get crazy anxiety. Thank God I came negative twice now. Now on your ideal program to remind myself I'm safe. That's really good. Yeah. There's so many things too. Someone said too, can I drive a bike? Is it safe for POTS? Number one, ask your doctor. But number two, yes. Like if your doctor says it's safe, 100% that's safe. You can do anything with POTS, to be honest, as long as your doctor says it's safe. Yeah, with the H. pylori stuff, man, so many things go on in our bodies, and that's why so many people get hung up too on like, oh my gosh, I tested positive for like reactivated Epstein-Barr or Lyme or this or that. But in reality, so much of this is already brewing in our bodies, and it's really not even to have its finger pointed at, But when our bodies get under stress, then things start to like reactivate, right? And so it's just a symptom. It's not the cause most of the time. Okay, so Lumen, struggling with anxiety for so long has increasingly been affecting my ability to perform cognitive work. What advice do you have for those like me trying to work an 8-hour job with our brains in decline? I dealt with that. So number one, your brain is not in decline. That is important to realize. But also I understand what you're saying wholeheartedly because I felt so bad between brain fog and derealization. Like I literally felt like I was like being spoken like a foreign language to, and I would just drift off in my like train of thought. It was just so hard. And so I would say like number one, getting yourself on a schedule. I'm going to harp on that. It's so important. Number two, if you're not already using Ideal, use Ideal because it's a brain retraining mechanism. And it's going to teach you how to respond. So like, for example, you're on a work meeting and you're literally like, who am I? Where am I? What day is it? I feel like I have dementia, right? That was my daily life. So when you feel that way, just going through Ideal and it's like, okay, like, yes, I feel out of it, right? Designate, this is just my body being in a heightened state. Okay. Embrace, it can linger. It is what it is. My body's trying to protect me with this haze, right? Back to what I was doing, like take the pressure off, take the weight off of your shoulders. I as a believer, I prayed a lot. I'm like, God, carry me through this. Like, carry me through this moment, carry me through this work meeting, carry me through all of this. Really want to encourage you too to, like, again, not pressure yourself. Like, there was a time where I would try to make myself recall things where I'm like, okay, what did I do this morning? And I'm like, why can't I remember? And I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? I couldn't tell you, like, what did I do this morning? I don't know. I guess I walked on the treadmill, like, and so it's like, there's, when you try to pressure yourself and make yourself remember things and make yourself keep up, it actually applies more pressure, which keeps you stuck in the situation. So I would say use ideal. God, carry me through this, fully surrender, float, also in that Claire Weeks book, and just kind of take it one moment at a time, right? Drift through it. Yeah, I agree with Becca on the POTS thing. Is POTS a lifelong thing or can it be cured? Yeah, I would say you may have a genetic factor for POTS, like for myself, sure, right? When I get pregnant, it tends to flare up a little bit, but it doesn't stop me. It is what it is. I understand why it's there. When you remove the chronic stress that you're under, you will no longer meet POTS criteria. It has to be a perfect storm, right, to like activate. So it will not ruin your life forever at all. All right, let me go back to Facebook here and see what other questions I have. Okay, so next. Okay, so anonymous member 459 on Facebook says, I've been trying to get my life back on track for a year now, but my symptoms are just piling up. Only when I take it easy and avoid all tension and stress do things go reasonably well. Do you have any tips for tackling life despite so many symptoms? I'm trying to use ideal, but it often only works in ideal stress-free situations. Okay, this is also a good question. So what I would say about this is this was me for a long time too. I was like, okay, so I can do nothing basically. You get all this advice on like pacing, whatever. And so I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm pacing. Turns out I can handle about nothing, right? No stress, even keel, not too happy, not too sad, just super down the middle. And obviously, as you're seeing, this does not get you to recovery. It doesn't work, right? So I would say instead of trying to keep your body stress free, symptom free, low symptom, whatever, instead look at the big picture and realize, okay, I need to train my body again to function, right? To be able to live my life, exercise, socialize, travel, whatever. And so in order to do that, it's like exercising. So you're going to lift heavier weights, right? So one day we go out to dinner with friends, we're lifting heavier weights. We expect the next day to be sore. And then while we're sore, quote unquote, we're symptomatic, our symptoms have increased, flared, whatever, right? Something new has snuck in. We expect it. We understand why it's there. We've lifted weights, quote unquote. We're sore. We understand why it's there. And so that day, the next day is game time. So instead of being like, oh no, I overdid it, ooh, back to bed. No, we say, okay, we know why it's here, right? My body thinks that was a threat, but it's not. We're getting stronger. Okay, body, we're good. We're sore. We expect to be sore. It's okay. Back to normal life. Continue on. The soreness dies down. We do it all over again. And so recovery feels very difficult for a very long time because it's like a layer onion approach sort of thing where it's like each day I feel like brings new challenges, but eventually you kind of get there and you're at the top of the hill and you've made it to the hike and then you're like, okay, turns out I can do all this stuff. And then you look back and you're like, wow, the stuff from 6 months ago that it was like so hard for me to do, now I'm doing that easy. Now this is hard. So think of it like exercise. I would say waiting on your body to recover does not work, right? The only way out is through. You will recover by showing your body what is safe, not waiting for your body to understand on its own. All right, pulling up the next question. While I do this, can you guys do me a favor? And whoever's not following me on Instagram, can you follow me? Because I have a brand new Instagram account and it has like 100 followers and it's been so hard to grow. So follow me on Instagram. Anxiety Recovery Emilee, Emilee. And yes, I have TikTok and obviously YouTube, but please follow my Instagram. Okay, let me see what's next. So Sergio, please tell me, does dysautonomia have the same symptoms as anxiety? Is there any chance it can be the same thing? So my personal beliefs on this is it is the same thing. So anxiety does not mean oh, you're so worried about something, you're worrying and scared. Anxiety is a state that the body is in, right? And so when your body is in this constant state of fight or flight, there's lions everywhere, that's when you get dysautonomia and POTS, which is under the umbrella of dysautonomia. And same thing with triple PD, the dizziness, the chronic pain. Your body's just in hyperdrive, right? And so now it's sensing danger in everything. So you stand up and your body's like, this is dangerous. What just happened, right? So it's all about retraining your body that it is safe. Let's see. Ooh, any tips for dealing with insomnia during LC recovery? I'm not even going to say the word on YouTube because they'll hide my video. But any tips on dealing with insomnia? Yeah. So what I would say with that, number one, ideal. Memorize the acronym, start using it. This is brain retraining. It takes time and it works. Number two, the Abide app. So I love that app. It's bedtime stories, basically like Christian bedtime stories. And so I would put on the Abide app a lot as simply something to redirect to. And then next, I would say remind yourself or tell yourself the goal is to rest. It is not to sleep. Sleep will come to you. Your goal is not to sleep. Your goal is to rest and just pursue normalcy, right? And so it's if normally bedtime is I don't know, 10 p.m. or something, it's I'm going to lay in bed at 10 p.m. and I'm going to rest. If normally I would wake up at 7 a.m., I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. I'm not going to get out of bed at 4 a.m. I'm just going to lay there and rest and then redirect to the Abide app. And so pressure's off. Every time these thoughts come up of, oh my gosh, if I don't sleep tonight, tomorrow's going to be horrible and I have to do this tomorrow. It is what it is. We can't change it. So I'm going to rest, right? It's better than nothing. When my body will sleep, it will sleep. But also having a consistent wake time is really key. So even if you don't sleep, still wake up at 7, right? If that's your norm. And eventually your body will kind of regulate, but really taking the pressure off, using ideal is key. And just telling yourself, it's identify, okay, here I am. I can't sleep. This is so frustrating. I'm never going to sleep again. No, right? Designate. It's my state my body's in. Embrace. It is what it is. I'll sleep when I sleep. For now, I'm going to lay here. Move on, right? Really, really, really take that pressure off. Okay, Katie, how to handle flares after a big exposure day? Do we pull back some or keep going? So that kind of piggybacks off my last question that I had. So I would say soreness, right? We have a heavy day. We're going to be sore. We're going to have a flare. Expect it, right? Expect it and understand too, when you are sore, it is game time. Show your body safety. We're good. Life's okay. It's not a threat, right? Continue with normalcy. Go to the grocery store that day. Do what you had planned that day. But when you do need to pull it back is when you find that you're not able to use ideal and you're just spiraling, Googling, I'm never going to recover, doom and gloom, 24/7, ideal's out the window. Then, no, pull it back, slow down, then speed up with the correct foundation. Okay, let's see. Becca, what is your advice on sudden DPDR and vision that comes up while home alone? This makes me rush to call my husband to come back. So, yeah, that's a good question. What I would say, Becca, is literally one, crave it. I know. Hey, Malka. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen forever. Number one, Becca, crave it, because in order for you to recover, you have to be in situations where the scariest things happen to you and you're alone or whatever it might be. So literally in those moments, immediately hand on your heart, drop your shoulders. It is what it is. I'm still safe. I'm still safe. I'm still safe. Try your darndest to not call your husband, to not get up if you're sitting down and you're supposed to be sitting down, to not sit down if you're standing and you're supposed to be standing. Just pursue normalcy, right? It's like, this is uncomfortable, but there is nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. There is nobody to call. I am okay. Because every time you're in that situation, you jump up, you sit up, you call somebody, you try to get outside, you try to get it away, take a shower, whatever it is, literally when you engage with it, you're telling your body that it's unsafe. So next time you're home alone, what's your body going to do? It's going to do it all over again. So yes, Malka, I like that too. Like asking for more. It's like, all right, give me your best shot. If you're going to kill me, kill me. Like thought I was going to die 100,000 times. Like, kill me, you know? But even for example, too, like the other day I got hit with like some dizziness. It was really weird. I haven't had it in forever. But I was laying on the couch, and it's funny how this works. It's like always when I'm like, oh, I'm so calm. And I had been on the boat all day long. That's probably why. I'd been on the boat from like 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I was sunburned. I was like, had just showered. I'm like all cozy on the couch. I remember being like, I just felt that warm, fuzzy feeling of like peace and comfort. And then I was like, whoa, like I'm starting to spin a little bit. And I had to have it happen. And so in that moment, my gut reaction was I wanted to like sit up, move, but I was like, no, stay exactly where you are. Like you're laying down, you're cozy, you're comfortable, stay exactly where you are. Like don't move, don't turn your head, don't, what was that? Try to make it happen again. None of that. Literally just like, if I'm sitting, I'm going to sit. If I'm standing, I'm going to stand. Like it's all good, right? And it was it, you know? Yes, and if Becca, so you said I keep feeding the thought that if it gets bad, I might faint, so I try to prevent it. It is a illusion, it is a false sense of control. Spiritually speaking, it is literally the enemy trying to keep you stuck and keep you captivated and just have his claws in you, like completely ruled by fear, and that's where I was too. And so in order to see what's on the other side of it getting too bad, you have to see, right? And once you see, you're like, oh shoot, there's nothing. That's it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I would really encourage you to like completely cut off all engagement with it. And it's like, you know what, if I faint, I faint. Great. They can figure out what's wrong with me. And I started feeling that way too, because I was still like not convinced at the time. I was like, something literally feels like it's wrong with me. So then I was like, you know what? If I faint, fantastic. They can find the blockage. They can find the whatever it is that obviously it's not. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, cool. All right, let me check Facebook one more time. I think that's about it for today. If you guys have any more questions, throw them in the chat. I'm just skimming Facebook one more time. Cool. Okay, guys. Well, make sure that you are subscribed here if you're new. So follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok. I have so much content. Please follow my Instagram again. It's new. It's sad. It has very little followers. But thank you guys for watching this live. And if you're not already reading the recovery guide, use that as your foundation. Read the recovery guide, start implementing and memorizing ideal. This is not like a short-term thing. This is a long-term thing, brain retraining, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you do that, and join the Facebook group. It's free, and that will allow you to ask questions as well if you can't actually be on the live next week. Yes. Okay, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Okay, now I got to figure out how to end this thing, so bear with me. Okay, there we go. All right, bye, everybody.